Hi students, welcome to Bosco Campus Vision. Today's session will give you an idea about the themes, motifs and symbols in the play Antigone by Jean Anouilh. Jean Anouilh's play Antigone is a tragedy inspired by Greek mythology and play of the same name by Sophocles. Major themes: the nature of tragedy. The play explains that tragedy exists as a mechanism in its own right and is not affected by anything that humans think or do. That is, tragedy belongs to an order outside human time and action. It will realize itself in spite of its players and all their attempts at intervention. It is a series of events already written like the lines of a play, and humans can merely read their lines but cannot change them. Anouilh comments on the nature of tragedy and the paradoxical suspense of the genre. What is beautiful and is still beautiful about the time of the Greeks is knowing the end in advance. That is real suspense. Tragedy is restful and flawless, free of melodramatic stock characters, dialogues, and plot complications. In tragedy, all is inevitable. Another major theme in this play is the sisters' rivalry. Ismene and Antigone, the two sisters in the play, appear as foils and rivals. Ismene is reasonable, timid, and obedient, full-figured and beautiful in being a good girl. On the other hand, the play's tragic heroine, Antigone, is impulsive and moody, sallow, thin, and decidedly resistant to being a girl like the rest. She goes against authority. In terms of physical aspects such as femininity also, we can see the rivalry. Ismene is the appropriate, beautiful girl, a woman that men want. Antigone, on the other hand, curses her girlhood. She hates the femininity that Ismene possesses. So, these are the major themes of the play. Motifs in the play. The chorus. In Greek tragedy, the chorus consisted of a group of people playing the role of death messenger, dancing, singing and commenting throughout from the margins of the action. Here in this play, Anouilh reduces the number of chorus to a single figure. His function is the same, he is present throughout as a kind of narrator. The chorus also aligns himself with the audience rather than the characters in the play. That's about the chorus motif. Another one, tragic beauty. It is Antigone's insistence on burying her brother causes her to have a downfall. Anouilh expresses Antigone's tragic beauty throughout her encounter with Creon. Specifically, Oedipus emerges as its model. Oedipus' moment of beauty came when he realized that there was no hope for him. Likewise, Antigone becomes beautiful at the moment of her total ruin. Now, let's take a look at the major symbols used in the play. The grey world. At the beginning of the play, we see Antigone tells the nurse that she has come from a grey world. A world set apart from the human world upon which Antigone's tragedy will ensue. Creon's attack. Creon, the figure for state power, is enraged by Antigone's defiance of the rules. When Creon realizes that he can't influence Antigone, he grabs hold of her and twists her to side. His actions symbolize her becoming one of the men, as this behavior is something that a man would do to another man but never to a woman. Another major symbol is Eurydice's knitting. Queen Eurydice's function in the tragedy is to knit in her room until she dies. Eurydice's knitting is a symbol of her life. End of a knitting is the end of a life. This is symbolic of the thread of life in the Greek myth that shows life spun, measured, and cut by the fates. These are the major symbols in the play. Here is the question for you. Please do answer the question. Thank you so much for paying attention.